All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Batter's Eye, and we're here on Bleacher Talk Baseball as well. I'm Aiden. I'm here with Nathan, and we have a big guest. Take a second to introduce yourself and tell us who you are, where you're at, what you do.
Yeah, my name's Nolan Schubart. I'm an outfielder here at Oklahoma State, junior. Originally from Michigan, but yeah, just enjoying my time down here in Stillwater. Just having fun.
Yeah. First of all, originally from Michigan, let's talk. Michigan football fan.
Yeah,
Before you got to
grew up
Oklahoma.
diehard Michigan fan in all sports, especially football and basketball. When Beeline was there with basketball, and then when Harbaugh took over football, they really turned around. But yeah, seeing them win the Natty last year is pretty sick, even though with all the controversy.
Yeah, rough year this year, huh?
Yeah, losing the coach and then first round QB and you're potentially a top three running back in the nation and guys transferring is kind of tough, but
Yeah,
hopefully the new coach can turn it around next year. We'll see.
of course. Without further ado, let's get into baseball talk, though. Obviously, one of the better players in the nation. You're ranked in towards the top in everything for draft profiles, but we'll talk about just the draft process and everything later. Let's go into the goals you guys have for this year. Obviously, we're one of the top teams in the nation last year and are looking to build on that this year. Have you guys kind of had conversations about the expectations you have for the team going into this year?
Yeah, a little bit different look at it than my first 2 years here. Last year we had a lot of big name guys on the team like Carson Bench,
Mhm.
Zach Earhart, Brian Holiday, who turned himself into a third round pick, and then our Friday guy who was a mid-major guy with a high ERA turned into our Friday night guy. But a little bit more different approach, I think, as a team. We're a little bit more, I'd say, is the hardest working team I've been a part of here. The grit that we have as a team and like just the resilience to anything. Like we went out to Arkansas 2 weekends ago, played 2 games out there. They got us game one, and then we came back for day two.
Yeah.
But I think this year is like a different little mindset because we've past 2 years I've been here, we've hosted, but we haven't been able to get out of our own regional, which is something that can't really happen at a big, program like us. So it's just trying to figure out what we need to do to get past that point, and then also, going out winning the Big 12 again for the third year in a row.
Yeah. Nathan, go ahead. Anything you have to say? No, get that. Just so something else I want to talk about. Obviously, with the new additions to the Big 12, you have some teams, also another team that hosted a regional last year in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have, I think, what other teams from the Pac 12 are joining you guys? You have, is
Then
Arizona?
we got Arizona, Arizona State, Utah's coming in.
Utah. So,
Who else? Yeah,
yeah, I'm missing, I know I'm missing another team, I think.
kind of. Yeah, we got Arizona, Arizona State, Utah joined, Colorado joined, but they don't have baseball.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that might be
yeah,
what I'm thinking about.
yeah.
But yeah, with those three additions, obviously Arizona being the big threat there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what are you guys looking at as a challenge to the Big 12 with that, as well as what you guys have obviously known last year, though Texas leaves, Oklahoma
Yep.
leaves, which are two
Mm-hmm.
threats to the Big 12. I mean, do you guys have a different approach to it this year with the new teams coming into it, or is it still kind of the same mentality going into it? You guys know what you have, and you guys have established yourselves.
Yeah, I don't think much would change. Big 12 play past, recent years we've played really well. We still got TCU who's been really solid. Tech has historically been really good. And then you add Arizona last year, they hosted a regional. Arizona State historically has been really, really good. Um, I don't know much about Utah, but we still got a bunch of really good teams to worry about. So we're just going to keep going in each weekend series, just winning, as many of those games as we can, and just trying to dominate as much as we can, like we know how to.
Yeah, completely understand. So yeah, so moving on to the next thing, we want to talk about, recruitment as a high schooler for baseball. It's
Mm-hmm.
a little different, I think. you see a little more of the mid majors kind of take over in baseball, and especially not as many. I mean, the SEC is still dominant. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but I think it's a little more spread out than some of the other sports that you see. So
Hmm.
obviously, Oklahoma State's one of the better baseball schools, but not as many people know about what necessarily draws recruits there. So talk about that
Hmm.
in a sense, and what kind of led you to go to Oklahoma State. And obviously, it's been the right choices. It's been allowed you to blossom into the player you've become.
Yeah. So I had a little bit of a interesting recruiting situation. So my freshman year of high school, I committed to Michigan. I was committed there for 4 years, and then the end of my senior year, coming in the freshman year, that's when Coach Backage and the whole coaching staff left. They all went to Clemson. But I knew from like summer ball stuff and everything, I knew Jackson Holiday and Matt pretty well,
Yeah.
and I've always kind of known like a little bit of Oklahoma State. And that senior year is when they had, I think they were ranked like fourth or fifth in the nation. They had that crazy regional against Arkansas. So
Mm-hmm.
like it was already in my mind. And so when I opened up my recruitment, I came out here. And like to your point, like our facilities out here is like one thing that draws a lot of people here. Like I firmly believe we have the best facilities in the nation.
And and we're gonna work on getting down there. I want to get down there this spring, so
Yeah,
we'll
yeah, our place is pretty nuts. I think it's like 60 or 70 million dollar stadium or whatever maybe.
shout out to who was it who
He's so
also was
great.
telling me someone else was telling me I gotta come to you guys. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Liam Preston was telling me Oklahoma Oklahoma State is the best facility in the country to visit.
yeah,
So
it's nuts.
I
It's
think we might have to make a trip down there this spring.
Yeah. Facility wise, I mean, it speaks for itself when you come here. Our locker room is better than most major league locker rooms. We have, what are all of our recovery room, our own personal weight room for baseball only. So I mean, it's a nuts there. So that'll blow you away. And then our coaching staff is unreal too. Like Josh has been coaching here. I think this is 12th or 13th year with our pitching coach, who's kind of known as, like, they call him the wizard. He's really known for developing pitchers, and um, you see that with the amount of pitchers that we send through to the minors, and then we have a couple in the show right now. But then we also have Josh's brothers, Matt Holiday, who's will be around the field with either Jackson or Ethan if they're working out. Then we have veteran, like, old players like Pete Incaviglia, who's considered the best college player ever, or Robin Ventura. So they'll both like show up. So
That's
like
all.
the baseball knowledge and the roots and tradition here is just like unbelievable. And it's shown through the development of players like, Carson Bench is nuts. And then you got guys that are pitching that go nuts. And then my development's been very good coming here, and, being able to grow and learn more about myself as a player and person, because they're good with that on and off the field. Their off the field stuff of like helping you grow as a person is just as important. And so I think that's what draws a lot of people here.
Yeah, Nathan,
What up?
you got anything? You got anything you want to ask before I move into my next topic?
No, we can move into next topic.
Perfect. So, just with the next topic that I want to get into, a little bit of your development, and I'll tell something after, but a little bit into your development that you started to talk about. I mean, you came in as a freshman, you started lighting things up, and
Mm-hmm.
immediately that was taken note of. And what was something that, because obviously, as someone who does that, going into the next year, people make adjustments, and you made adjustments as well to kind of counteract that. So, what are some adjustments that you made from that offseason in your freshman year, whether it's through summer ball in the Cape, whether it's just through off-season work that allowed you to remain consistent and keep that production going into last year where you had a big year? I mean, I know a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't look at the stats players wise just because it's a distraction, but I'll list them off for the fans that wanted to know. You hit 370 last year, and in addition to that, you also hit 23 home runs. So we'll leave it at that. But big year last year, and what led to that, consistency.
I think it's just consistency is a big word here. The consistent work. Going through, I played in the Cape after my freshman year, and not gonna lie, I struggled up there. It was kind of eye opening. Like, I got to be able to hit with a wood bat a little bit, if I want to play at the next level.
Yeah.
And like self evaluating, I knew my swing and miss was high, and I knew I needed to work on that. And then just like swing adjustment wise, I needed to work on my body control. And then just I think that came with that, working on athleticism. But through the off season, I really tried to work on a little bit more barrel control. And to start the year, I was okay. Like in the season, not the greatest start. I was like my original swing last year to start, like I was short, I would stand short, I had a higher leg kick, and I would like glide out.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to control, and that's what I found in the Cape. But I tried to stay with it because I knew I hit well my freshman year with it. And then it was actually at Kansas State, just so happened to fall a ball off my calf, and so I couldn't really move well. And I just said, screw it, and I'm going to go wide. Like I'm just going to cut the movement. And then I hit, I think, a double maybe. And from there, head coach Josh was like, why don't we try that, do that all the time? And so that Monday we came back. We worked on that. And from there on, I was just a little bit wider, cut the movement, and it really helped me stay a little bit more control of my body. And that's when I started to really take off last year. But I think a big contribution to that is like the coaches, because they were just constantly working with me and trying to figure it out. But also like a big, the trust that they had in me, like when I was struggling early in the season, not to like freak out or worry or try to like pinpoint or freak out. So that was the biggest help, was just that they constantly just had like complete trust in my ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So something else I want to actually talk about, because you brought up the knowledge that you have around the facility, and I've worked with Ethan years ago, but also remained in contact with him, and I know how knowledgeable he is, how good he is, and how advanced for his age he is, and just that Packer family. And because of that family, the entire Oklahoma State baseball program has unlimited resources. And maybe not. What's an experience that you've had, just something where maybe you've kind of needed to use those resources, and just a cool story that has led you to like a memory or something that you've learned that's helped you in the game of baseball?
Yeah, Matt was helping us the fall my freshman year, and like he was like a big help then. Like for me, I think the guy that helped me the most was Robin Ventura. So my freshman year, he was our volunteer assistant. That was before they added the third paid assistant. And I remember just like I was like in like a 2 week like little slump that I was hitting, and I couldn't figure it out. And he would just like it was right before a Sunday game, and he told me to show up at like 7:30 or whatever to hit in the cage with him. And him just like he's just all about feels. Like he doesn't care about your swing mechanics, because he knows like if you made it this far, your mechanics are good.
Yeah.
And so he just would, crazy enough, I remember this. He came in, put Frank Sinatra on our speakers, blaring it through there. And then we just did work for about an hour from like 7:30, 8:30. And then his thing was like just be free. And he's like, when guys in the show like I was playing with, and he was talking about some big name guys, he's just like they get like in their heads and they couldn't hit. And then like I think he was talking about Frank Thomas, maybe. Like Frank just like was freaking out, like had a rough week or whatever. And then he showed him one drill, like Robin showed him one drill that he showed me, and then he was telling me how Frank Thomas went on to hit like, I don't know, 7 or 8 homers maybe in a week. I could be wrong, that was Frank or somebody else, but I was just like, geez, it's kind of like an eye opener to be like, oh, like guys in the show like struggle or think just like how we do in college baseball, even like we do in high school.
Yeah. So next, I want to kind of move into just a little bit about not necessarily the draft process, because there's a lot about that and it's a lot to talk about, a lot you guys can't necessarily talk about. but just some stuff about who you are off the field and what teams are going to
Yeah.
be getting and fan base they're going to be getting in you. Obviously, your team has made it pretty far the last 2 years, so you've gained a lot of experience in big games. And
Hmm.
I mean, off the field, as a leader, as a teammate, what do you if you're talking to a fan base, what do they get in the person off the field in Nolan Schubart?
Yeah, I mean, just like the simple answer is like I'm the same guy pretty much every day. They can really reliable. I'm not going to change from one day to the next. Personality wise, hard work and determined guys like most people would say at this level, but just willing to do the extra work and extra stuff without the cameras. I'm not the biggest social media guy. I don't really post too much. It's not like my biggest concern, but just keeping the same level head no matter where I'm at, and just trusting that God's work is what I'm going to hopefully portray to other people, and that the team can see that. I might not be the most flashy guy in the field, but hopefully the actions can speak loud enough for me.
Yeah. So now, in addition to that, what's something that so far in this process has been super exciting for you? Something that, whether it's been just like interesting to learn about things about the draft process itself, or there have been things that you've been looking forward to for a while that you finally got to do?
Yeah, I think just talking with someone, haven't done it yet, but I remember I did a little bit in high school, but coming up, just talking to some of the teams of learning what their organization's about and what they're looking for and what they see in me, and excuse me about that process. And then the other thing was just meeting, like we're going to talk about here soon, but just meeting guys over summer ball and seeing like their experiences and what they think they work on. But the draft process is something that's interesting. Just it's something you only get to experience once, so it's pretty cool to be going through it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. And I think, it's a big year for you. So we'll see how that goes. But obviously, everything's looking well for that. Nathan, you have a
So,
question?
Nolan, we know you played with Team USA. Not
What's
everyone,
up?
we know you played with Team USA. Not everyone gets to do that. Can you
Yep.
take us through some experiences of that and how was that?
Yeah, that playing for Team USA was a blast. It was my second time doing it. I played on the 15U team in high school, but this time was even like was pretty cool. We did the friendship series against Chinese Taipei. Then we also did, I think, a 4-game series against their freshman team that they put together. But it was an honor to be, selected for that. And after the season happened, to get the call from the GM of USA Baseball and, getting the official invite was pretty sick. But playing with other guys was that are, that elite of players and their experiences. But honestly, my favorite thing was getting to know them off the field. Like
Mhm.
we played all around North Carolina, so our bus trips to the games from Cary were like an hour and a half, 2 hours, I think each. So our team just like we grinded mafia, like no matter what was going on.
Yeah.
Like we always had a game of Maf going. And just getting to know them off the field was the coolest thing. Because you see them on field and they might be there are some guys that are flashy and
Yeah.
can be perceived one way, but then you get to know them off the field and they'd be like the
Mhm.
nicest guys you could meet. But yeah, like I talked to quite a bit with Devin Taylor, got to know him, and he's a pretty elite player, and same with Max Blue from Texas and Drew Burrows from Georgia Tech, top freshman guy last year, and then I don't know, there's Dean Curley, trying to think who else, RJ Austin.
Yeah. All
Yeah, I
the
mean there's just pretty elite guys that are on the team, like Caden Bodine, the catcher, Brooks Bryan from Troy. Um, then the pitchers, like watching Jamie Arnold and Tyler Bremner go at it was
yeah.
pretty nuts. I gotta say, like seeing those guys throw on the mound is pretty sickening. But also playing against like Chinese Taipei was really cool because those guys were all super like nice and they were fun to play against. because they were happy to be out there competing against us, and like it was a true like I don't want to say like it was it was a true friendship series. Like there was just they were they were competing, but we were going at it, and then I think the coolest game though was our July 4th game, played on 4th of July against the freshman team, and they sold out the minor league stadium we were at. So that was
Oh,
pretty cool.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And the freshman team, I mean, they're pretty good too. Like,
Yeah, that team was loaded. I remember we faced what's his name from Duke, a lefty from Duke,
um,
I know you're talking about. I don't know his name.
Kyle something. I
Kyle
think
Johnson.
Kyle Johnson. Yeah, faced him. He was nasty. And lefty, I was like 95.
Yeah, he's filthy. And I mean, obviously you experienced just what it was to become a big time freshman as well. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean these kids have had some of the craziest experiences. I mean, you guys are living the lives playing some of these games, traveling around playing baseball. And so with that being said, the last question we want to ask before moving into rapid fire are just some goals that you have for yourself, whether they're individually or team oriented for this upcoming season. And, they could be farther than that. It could be some goals for yourself in the next couple of years as well.
Yeah, I think like team wise ones, I think the big one is go win the Big 12 in both the regular season and the tournament. Um, just to prove to everybody that we're the top team in the Big 12, and then as everybody say, make the Omaha. I think this year, take a little bit of different approach, a little bit more gritty, and willing to do the little stuff in the game a little bit more, and just go on game to game. I think we can make that impact in that run. And then individual stuff. I I try not to do too much of it, but I think it'd be pretty cool when Big 12 Player of the Year, and
Mm-hmm.
then shoot for finalist of God forbid maybe Golden Spikes finalist, but I don't know. I really want to make that trip to Omaha. That's really all I care about this year, and then uh, future couple of years be in the show as quick as I can,
Yeah.
regardless of where I go in that draft. I just make it there quick and stay there as long as I can.
Yeah. As for Big 12 Player of the Year, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they have released preseason favorites yet, but per our rankings, you and Summerhill are 1 and 2. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say who's 1, who's 2, but both of you are my guys. So what do you got to win it? One of you got to win it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year in the Big 12. There's a lot of talent this year in it.
There's
So
a lot of talent. There's a lot of dark horse talent, but you two
yeah,
are 1 and my 2. So one of you, one of you got to come out and win it for me. So
yeah, that
being said, do we want to do all right? Rapid fire. Me and Nathan, you want to do the Omaha one?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll do a consensus preseason Omaha 8.
oh boy. Okay.
Kind of see if we could somewhat agree on something.
All right. Well, I got to be biased. I got to put ourselves in,
So
us in there.
Yep.
I mean,
we'll throw you in there.
I feel like it'd be wrong if I didn't put us in there.
We'll throw you down. I think LSU comes back and has a big year, puts themselves back in there.
I was gonna say LSU had a big recruiting in the portal, so I'd probably put LSU in there.
I think so too. I think Florida State. The pitching they have. I don't know if their hitting is still going to be as elite as it was last year.
Yeah, last year their hitting was nuts to watch. Pitching, I mean, they got Jamie back, and I think they got a couple other guys back.
Yeah. Cam is going to pitch this year.
To think of who else. I don't know about Florida. They knocked us out last year, but I mean,
I'm not sure.
They just seem to know how to play in postseason, so I can't count them out. I'm not going to put them in, but I just can't count them out like fully.
I think Clemson gets back in there this year.
Clemson.
And
Clemson returned, I think, a good amount of guys. They got Canarella, who's back, and high school teammate Crichton. So we'll see. I know Vanderbilt just got a new whole coaching staff besides Corbin. They just cleaned house a little bit.
They might do it.
They might. I think Corbin's got the experience. He knows what it takes. So I think that team I think they hit the portal hard. So
Yeah.
they're always a team to look out for. Trying to
S-
think of who
Sneak,
else.
any sneaky Big Tens. I'm trying to think if like Oregon maybe, but no, I don't think so.
I forgot Oregon's Big Ten now. Holy smokes,
Don't
those
forget
used to
about
be.
A&M. I feel like
Ooh,
Oh yeah, A&M.
A&M
Yeah,
will make it
I
back.
think A&M. I think A&M will make it back.
I think Tennessee also will. It's hard
Yeah,
to say.
Tennessee.
It's hard to say that they won't.
yeah.
Yeah, they brought in some guys portal and then they returned to get them out. I think
And
Tennessee A&M probably will make it.
Tennessee, A&M, LSU, Oklahoma State. I'm trying to Clemson. So we
I
have five so far.
those are solid five that I can take. I don't see a Big Ten team doing it.
Does Wake have it in them to make it back? I don't know if
I don't know who they have. I played with
Ethan
one.
Conrad there now.
Yeah, Ethan Conrad's there, and then they had another one that played with on USA too with us.
I think Virginia can make it back.
Virginia.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Virginia's a
solid
sneaky
pick.
ACC team. Not even sneaky. I just forget about them.
Mhm.
Solid pick. I like Virginia to make it back.
I don't see OU or Texas doing it.
I think Arkansas might.
Shit, with that pitching staff I just saw,
Mhm.
yeah.
They're always solid, and they still got Aloy.
Yeah,
Who
Loy was not he was really good. And then that Friday those pitchers they threw Friday were all nuts.
those
That
pitchers
was
absurd.
those are the yeah, that was the best pitching staff I've seen, yeah,
So
as a
yeah, they
whole.
can make it. They could definitely get back there. You're right. I don't see either of the new SEC teams making it. Oklahoma might push for it, but I don't think they get there.
No, I don't know if they will. I mean Schloss might be able to get Texas because he just did it last year at A&M. He knows how to do it. So I don't know with them. Um but I don't know, it's gonna be an interesting year. I feel like it's always
Pulmonary,
crazy.
Pulmonary might be able to do it with South Carolina. That's going to be super interesting.
Yeah, I mean that team, veteran coach that came back. He's got Petrie there and some other guys. I know they hit the portal too.
And
It's
Georgia,
going to be yeah. The
Yeah,
Georgia
Georgia.
sneaky, not even sneaky. They're in the supers last year.
Mhm.
wow, is it really going to be six SEC teams and five SEC teams and Virginia, Clemson, and you guys? It might be. It
It could
really
be.
might be.
I think North Carolina can make it again.
Gosh,
That's a good team too. They lost. They
They
lost.
lost
how old
Vance.
were they last year though?
They lost Vance. They lost D'Onofrio. I don't know what else they lost. They didn't lose that much else. I
They
don't
still
know.
got Luke
If they lost.
Stevenson.
They got Stevenson this year. Boston Flannery will pitch a little bit. He'll come out
Yeah,
something. They're good. They could do it. I could see that. Depends. It's going to be competitive at the top, but I think it's going to be a little more separated this year than it was last year.
Mhm.
Last year
Yeah.
was super competitive.
yeah. I think I don't know. This will be pretty nuts. I think the top teams will be definitely like a little bit of like you said separation, but we'll see. There's some good mid majors that might make it.
Now that I didn't even think about the mid majors that could
Like
make a
I
run.
know DBU's always solid.
Yeah,
If
UConn.
UConn last year
UConn last year was good. ECU's always solid.
and Oregon State, forgot about them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they have.
Kentucky is Kentucky going to make another run too?
I'm
I don't
not
think
high
that.
on them
No,
making
no.
another run, but
Yeah, no.
it could. I'm not sure if they do, but it could be.
Yeah,
They could do it. I think. Yeah, that was so random last year for them to just
Yeah, I know.
out of nowhere turn it around. I don't know if they sustain it as well. I think they still do pretty well, but I don't know if they make it all the way back to Omaha. I think they end up as a 2 seed in a regional and get knocked out.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they were top five last year, no?
Yeah, they were.
Mhm.
I think they went into the tournament as a 2 seed.
Yeah,
So that's crazy. But with that, I think that's all we got for you. So
okay.
other than that, yeah. So anything else you have, Nathan?
No, I'm good.
All right, so we'll end it off with if you have any last words you want to say to anyone watching, anyone you want to mess around with. I don't know.
I don't think so. It's been fun. Ready to get after this year.
Yeah.
Ready to get back in February so we can start playing. Just itching to get back. But yeah, no, this podcast has been fun so far. Thanks
Yeah,
for having me on.
of course. Thank you for coming on. Hopefully, we'll have you on again before the draft. Maybe we'll get down to Oklahoma State and we'll do something there. We
Yeah.
get a little cage games going. Swing a bat. We'll see what we can do. But thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for watching, and let us know who else you guys want to see on the podcast. We have some. See if we can get any guests that can compete with Nolan. I don't know.